How's it going, knife nerds? All right, I got something special for you today. This is my personal Arkane design and something Obscene company collaboration called the Anti Matter. Now, this is not in the stock form. The handle is completely stock. I have not modified the handle. As you can see, we have this beautiful bronze stonewashed titanium here with these black pivot collars, and then this super sick milled titanium clip, which I absolutely love. The shape of this knife is kind of a coffin shaped type thing going on here that reminds me of like a vampire theme, like something Dracula would be carrying around. So I've wanted one of these for quite a while, but of course, you know, it's such a polarizing design. I've put it off for a long time, and then I ended up getting this one in a trade, and I'm glad I did, because man, I was missing out. This knife is something serious. I liked the quality of this knife so much that I ended up modifying the blade a little bit, just a hair of a modification. And yeah, so let me show you what's going on here. Boom. So this came to me as a black blade, right? And I'm trying, it's going to be difficult to show you this blade with the lighting and that I've got going on here, because this is I put a ridiculous mirror polish on this blade. Okay, so we started out with a fully black DLC or PVD coated blade, and then I took and I gave the bevels a mirror polish, all hand mirrored. This is not done with a machine, and you will never see results like this done on a machine. Okay, so this is all done by hand, painstakingly. It took me approximately 20 hours to mirror this blade. And then I gave it a beautiful hand-rubbed satin finish on the flats there. And the black remained in the fuller of the blade. So let's see if I can get this away from here a little bit so that the reflections are not blurring the camera. So we've got the fuller is still all black. The flats are satin, and then the bevels are mirrored. Both edges are also fully mirrored, and it is just an absolute stunner. I had posted this thing on Facebook and Instagram about a week ago when I finished up the work, and it really generated a massive response from people, because it's definitely a beautiful finish, especially when incorporated with a knife of this fashion. This is a full double edge. This is not the antimatter that has a false edge. So you got to be very careful because this is it's a little sharp here. just a little bit sharp, okay? Yeah. So and if you, of course, because it is mirrored, if you get anything on the blade, it's going to show big time. So, you know, anytime I whip this out, I've got to have my plush microfiber cloth here ready to clean my fingerprints and whatnot. But yeah, let me see if I can get in any closer on this. See, it's really difficult to film a mirror polish with like this is just a standard, you know, Samsung Galaxy phone, and the focus wants to go crazy because it wants to focus on the reflections rather than the blade as a whole. And so it's very difficult to photograph or video blades like this. But yeah, so we got a 3.5 inch M390 blade here that just took an insanely gorgeous, beautiful mirror polish. And then there's this action. This detent is so perfect, guys. Like, this is just one of those 1 in a million detents that's like, God, that's perfect. So, you know, you've got the flipper tab here, and you just put your finger on it, and you're literally push buttoning it every time. And when you push button it, it's not hard to deploy. It's easy, but it feels super, super snappy. It's just an instant deployment. Like it feels like an auto, like I'm pushing the button on an auto. It's ridiculous. And then the smoothness, it's on 1/4-inch bearings. The smoothness on the close is just glassy smooth. What an action this thing has, guys. It's so good. I don't know if they're all like this, but my particular example here has a very impressive action. And I freaking love this knife. What a beauty. So I'm not sure if these are available anymore. They're not available from Arkane. I should talk about, the collaboration a little bit here. Arkane Knives is Israel, I believe, who is a newer company on the market that has been creating some stir. He's had several designs already that have been wildly popular. Very eccentric, wild designs. And yeah, so you've got Israel, and then Israel collaborated with our boy Felix over at Something Obscene Company. Now Felix, one of my favorite designers in the market, period. The designer of the J-Cape and the Neemly, and it's just, his knives are just amazing to me. But you can see here how they did the logo. This is the Arkane logo, and this is the Something Obscene logo, signifying that this design was done in collaboration with each other. I do not believe there are any available from Arkane anymore. Felix had some in his shop that were still for sale, but the shop is currently closed, and it's going to be closed until February 2022. I don't know if he'll have any more in stock when the shop opens back up, but he did have some left. I picked mine up. Like I say, I got this in a trade. I was very lucky to have acquired it with them being just about sold out. And so, the blade on this thing, I said, man, you know what? I haven't done a mirror in a while. I think I want to mirror this one. I think this is the perfect knife to mirror. And God, it just really set this knife off in the craziest ways. It's so perfect like this. I can't even begin to show you how perfect this is. I'd have to really probably get it out in the daylight. And show you some daylight footage of how good looking this knife is, or this blade finish is. You're not going to see any ripples, flaws, nothing. I took my time and perfected this finish, and I'm very pleased with it. So we have M390 steel, full titanium construction. It is a frame lock flipping double-edged dagger with a 3.5-inch blade. As far as the ergos go, you can do kind of a, you can do this type of thing where you got one finger tucked here and a thumb tucked here, and that's pretty good. Or you can go full hammer fist with it. You know, you obviously cannot put your thumb up over the blade because it is a double edged. They do have a false edge version of the knife that was released as well for those that would prefer that. If I'm buying a dagger style blade like this, guys, I want the double edge for sure. That's just, you know, I don't really see the need for the false edge. I guess some people would try to actually use this as an EDC knife. I don't really see it that way. I see this as an art piece. And that's what it is. It's a beautiful work of freaking functional art that I turned even more artsy with this insane mirrored finish on the blade here. So not a whole lot else to say about this knife. You know, it's going to be a pretty brief review because really, you know, what else do you say about it? It's got great chamfers. It's comfortable. Everything functions correctly. There's no real flaws that I can point out. You know, great action, phenomenal action, perfect blade centering. Everything is just bang on here. It's Riot at their finest. This is manufactured by Riot, and this is some of their finest work here. Everything is just flawless. There's no quality control issues at all. The action is perfect. The fit and finish is perfect. It's a perfect freaking knife. And I don't say that often, guys. I'm super picky. For me to say perfect knife, you'll rarely ever hear that term come out of my mouth. This is a perfect knife. There's nothing wrong with it. All right, guys. Well, I've got more headed your way, so stick around and check out the channel some more. Later.